Guys, it's Steven with the Mac Repair. I've got another customer computer over here. We're gonna go ahead and get started on it. It's an it's an A2779, MacBook Pro 14-inch, M1 Pro, M2 Pro, M2 Max, one of those. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get that started. We're gonna go ahead and pull this apart. Customer went ahead and approved the repair for a board repair. And we're just gonna move from there. So what we're gonna do is gonna put the overhead camera and we're gonna get started. So we're gonna go ahead and fix the overhead camera. Uh-oh, it's looking all weird. And there we go. So that was odd. Looks like some of my table shifted for some odd reason. Don't know why, but there we go, fixing it. There we go. Okay, so we're in the MacBook Pro 14-inch. So let's go ahead and get started. So pull out the screws at the bottom plate. And before we do anything with board repair, we're going to go and test for shorts. And the most common short area we're going to test for is PP bus. So if PP bus is present when we put voltage into it, connect the connector to it, a 67 watt, 70 watt brick, then chances are there's something else going on and we need to discover what that is. More than likely, if there's no liquid spill on this and it just died, then we will go ahead and fix that and get it back to life and get the customer up and running into his computer, and hopefully he has his data there. So moving on, let's go ahead and grab a suction. Now wearing gloves because we're not doing any lead on this one yet. We'll put gloves on in the near future here shortly. If we have to do any like reballing chips, then we will put gloves on. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open it. We're gonna do the thing that we always do. Put it against your chest there, pull this up, and boom, voila. All right, now, computer looks good. Hasn't been looked like it's ever been worked on. We are obviously going to be the first ones that are working on it. So with that said, I did disconnect the battery from when it came in just to make sure nothing else was going on. So the battery has been disconnected, but we're going to plug up the battery anyways to see what is going on with the computer and then go from there. So this is there, and now we're going to go ahead and get our trusty handy dandy multimeter, and we're going to go ahead and test for shorts. So we're going to see if there's a short to ground on PP bus. So I'm going to go ahead and test. So what we're going to do is we're going to put red probe to ground and black probe to the positive side of PP bus. So we're going to find an area to put this on. So what I'm going to do is look for area. This is perfect right here. And we're going to see if there is any indication of a short. Yes, there is a short. There is a short. We got 3 ohms. Right now present, we should be at 0 ohms. So when it's showing some ohms there, that means there's a short present. So not always, but just know that it's supposed to be at 0 ohms on the multimeter. So I'm gonna put the multimeter on top of the board real quick so you can see what I'm seeing. And I'm gonna go put it right here. We're gonna test this area right here. And there is a short on the line. So we're gonna go ahead and figure out what is going on with this board and fix it. But now that we know that PP bus is kind of like showing its rear and its head, we're going to go ahead and pull up the board view and see what we got. All right, so I think this is the A2779. I kind of preset myself for success, so we can fly through this repair pretty quickly. So let's see, make sure this is an M1 Pro. So we need an A2779. I think we have one. Let me see if I got one over here somewhere. Let me go back, board schematics. Try to open this up, see if we find anything. I don't see any 14-inch on this. Okay, I'm gonna stop this for a second and I'm gonna try to see if we have this somewhere loaded. I'm not gonna waste time looking for this. I'm gonna try to find it. So I'm back with this. I got the board. I went ahead and got the board downloaded. So I guess we didn't have the board view, which was odd. I thought we downloaded, but I got the board view. So here we are. Shout out to Bad Caps. If you need boards and board view schematics, go to badcaps.com. They have, actually, I'm sorry, it is badcaps.net. Badcaps.net, and give a shout out to that forum and a shout out to wiki.repair for a lot of stuff. We have posted a few wiki repairs. Things on that for some iMacs recently, and so if you're looking to figure out how to do some things, by all means go to that website. We are not gatekeepers here at the Mac Repair. We're here to help you get into your device and also teach you, but we're also here to service your computer if you don't want to take it on yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we have a PP bus short present, so we're going to go ahead and get this board view switched out. We're going to go ahead and look at this in a second. We're going to go ahead and rotate this exactly according to the board, what we're looking at under the microscope. And there it is right there. So this is PP bus, PP bus Eon. That's so PP bus was at the top. So we're going to go ahead and test this one more time. And we're going to go and see if there's a short in the bottom. 3.5 ohms. 3.5 ohms. So we got a short on that line right there. So that tells us everything we need to know. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and take the board out, and then we're going to inject voltage and find out where the board is. We're not going to send any volts to this because we already know there's a short on the board. We don't have to test for voltage because we already know there's a short on the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this board out, and we're going to go pull it out and get it ready. So we're going to speed this up and try to get this knocked out pretty quick because we have a lot of repairs. We've been getting a lot of business lately, so we were trying to play catch up, and I am the only board repair specialist at the shop right now at the time. So I'm going to do as fast as I can without making mistakes. So here we go. So we're going to take the battery out real quick. Disconnect the battery connector right there. So we got to take the board out to do the repairs because we don't know what side of the short is on. So we're going to assume the short is present somewhere, but we won't know for sure until we pull this board out. And then we go from there, and then we get a donor board, which we do have a donor board for this, which is cool. And then we fix it. So we have a 14-inch donor board in stock. So if it's something that we need to take off from the donor board, we will, and we'll get this computer up and running. So we're going to do everything we need to do to get this computer up and running as fast as possible and efficiently as possible. So here we go. Keep going. And also, if you hear a lot of noise outside, that is the rain. Right now? In this area? Yeah. Well, we definitely need the rain, I can tell you that. All that pollen that came out, ooh, I'm surprised I got affected by it, but I'm surprised it hasn't hurt me too much. So, we gotta take every little screw out. So this is tedious, so we have to do all this. So we have to do all this little extra work to get this ready for a board repair. As much as we'd like to repair it in the back box. Go. Of course. Okay, there's that. We got that. Do we have any other smaller ones we need to take apart? And no, looks like everything's good. So let's go and pull the tabs out, and then we'll just move on to the other screws. Remember, you have screws underneath this area right here. So remember that. Go. There's that. A lot of tabs. You gotta put them all back together as well once you do it. There's that. There's that. Got that off. Got that off. And we got every tab off. So there's that. So go ahead and pull these off. Okay. That one's that. We got these guys on here. I like to put the screws right in front of me because I plan on putting them back in anyways, because this should be hopefully an easy repair. Hopefully that it didn't eat the board on the other side. We're going to see if there's any liquid damage on the inside. Doesn't look like there's liquid damage on this side, so I'm not too worried about it. He said it just stopped working magically, so hopefully there is, you know, the customer is pretty much didn't spill any liquid on it, and we're hoping that's the case, because if it's just a shorted cap, then cap can be replaced, board works, and problem solved. So, and there's that. And there's that. That's there. Okay, so we now got to get to Torx 5. These guys right here are hidden. And you got to pull them up. I just pull the tabs off and I just put them right back on when I'm done. So there's little rubber tabs that are covering the area where the screw goes. So there we go. Okay, Torx 5. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull this up. We're not going to pull too hard on this. We're just going to lift it up lightly. So like a little lightly, and then put our hands underneath this, because you don't pull on this tab, because if you bend it, you'll break it. This, loosen this up. Okay. There we go. And we are in. And we're going to move this to the side, and we're going to select the board. All right, we're into the board now. So let's see what's going on with the board. Let's turn it on the other side. Let's see if we see anything unusual. No signs of liquid damage. A little dust, but nothing crazy. Looking for any visual signs of something that's abnormal. Don't see anything abnormal. Don't see anything abnormal. Everything is looking good. Okay, so everything's looking good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull up the microscope camera. And we're gonna go ahead and bring up the thermal sensor. Turn this on. There we go. And we're in. Okay, so we're gonna try to figure out what is going on with this. Notice I did not turn the light on. So let's go ahead and figure that out and see what is going on. We're gonna turn on our voltage injector. So okay, so let's go ahead and continue looking. So before we do anything, we're going to go ahead and we're going to inject voltage into the, we're going to go ahead and, well, first thing first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and remove this area right here. Go ahead and pull this off. Just going to inject voltage there and remove the 12. And go ahead and correct this thing. Look, it's not, it is, there it is. It's like it's not focused. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and remove this 12-volt fuse. And then we're going to inject voltage at the bottom of the left side and see where we see if we see anything present. You might ask yourself, why are you doing that? Because we don't want to send voltage to PPV battery and all that. We want to send voltage only to PP bus AON, because we know there's a short on PP bus EON. So we're just gonna remove that real quick. Patience is necessary. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. This was being stubborn. All right, we'll just. OS installs will become mandatory part of the service of the regular labor. It will be a charge that's not added if they're doing regular labor and moving forward with the repair, right? We're going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Why are you not coming off? You are being stubborn. We're at a high temperature too. All right, we're going to go a little higher then because you don't want to come off. She's going to NVMe? Yep. Good. I'm trying to make everyone get in their computers so they can continue their lives. This one is. One side's not working. Okay, removed it. I don't know what kind of solder they're using. Like, I don't know what solder they're using, but that is some. It is some terrible solder. I mean, like, no, it's fine, babe. Just stop. It's solder that. I'm gonna put this back. This one came off because the heat was going. It's a little cap. There we go. Back to normal. Cool. All right. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna inject voltage into that area and find out where the short is. Go ahead and clean it off real quick. Just kind of pull it off. Let's go ahead and turn this on real quick. There's nothing soldering. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and create an area for the ground to be grounded. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and solder this stuff on here real quick. So we gotta get some. That's weird. So there's that. We're gonna create. Oh, this is too thin. Let me change my thing real quick. Give me a second. Quick change. What I like to do is I like to add a little bit of scratches here because we need to ground this area. We do a little bit of solder on the end. like that. So it'll be a lot easier to solder that on and ground it. Here we go. All right, now we're going to inject voltage and see what happens. So we're going to come down here, put voltage right here, and see what the line does. So we're going to go ahead and inject voltage. Okay, there's a short for sure. The question is, where is it showing? So we're going to turn our thermal sensor on. I'm not going to inject it for a second here. And then I'm going to show you guys what I see on the webcam. Okay. Let's see where the heat. Let's see if we see anything coming up that's abnormal. Okay, gonna use this in my right hand, left hand. Nothing's showing up. Nothing's showing up. Okay. So I don't see anything on this side. Looking for an area that's shorting. It's shorting somewhere. It's probably on the opposite side, so we're gonna have to angle this. Ian, will you come here real quick? I'm gonna need you to hold this. The short is on the other side probably, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. And get close to it and just look for anything that's heating up. Just watch my hands because my hands heat. Look to the left right there. Oh, go back down. Okay, look around the board. Keep looking. Not that. That's the floor. That's a mat. Right. Go get to the board. Get close to the board. And just look around. Look for any heat signatures rising. Look to the far left. Keep going down to the left side. Give me a second. Increase the power voltage to 1.4 volts. Feeling short somewhere. It's not sure. It's on the. It's showing somewhere. Just don't. I'm looking for heat. Okay. Try this again. Go ahead and look around. Turn this light off for a second. Just look around the board. See that right there? Go closer to that. Hold up. Stay right there. No, I didn't say hit anything. I said stay right there. Don't hit anything. I'm trying to, because it's on the other side. Okay. That area that was shorting, get closer to that area. Right there like that. Hold right there. Don't say anything. Don't move. The temperature's dropping. You gotta hold your thing like this. Don't decide it, but I remember I'm looking at it too, so I need to be able to see what you're doing. So that's just shiny. Okay, so hold it like this. Don't do it upside down because I can't see it upside down. Just trying to find the short so I can fix this. Head back, look around. Just go around. Just keep looking. Go, oh wait, keep looking. Oh wait, get close right there. Sometimes you gotta get close because you can't see. Yeah, you gotta be able to identify what's getting hot because, yeah, and just keep getting and move around. Look for it. I'm teaching you how to do things. Keep looking. Keep going. Just keep moving. Slowly, but keep looking. Trying to find an increase in temperature here. To the other side. Oh wait. Go back. Go up right there. Stay right there for a second. It dropped. Is that increasing? Stay right there. Disappeared. Okay. I think I found what that is. Go back. So this side, underneath there, put up. Be underneath this side too. So this is the same side. There we go. Gone. Okay, hold up. Let me turn this down to 1. Okay. All right, so we found this short. And of course, visually, you can tell that it's blown. There you have it. There's your culprit. It was underneath this little area that covered it, so you couldn't see, you couldn't tell. And it's right underneath there, and it's blown. And it blew that area. I don't know about this chip right here, but it blew those chips right, 2 capacitors right there that are gonna come off, and that's why it's not powering on. Okay, so we're good to go. Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those 2 chips. They look like they blew, so I'm gonna have to get underneath there and remove it. Hopefully I should be able to without an issue. If I need to remove this area, I will, but I shouldn't have to, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this off. It's already broken. We'll remove both of them. You can smell it because it burnt itself, it exploded. Hopefully it didn't destroy the pad underneath. So we're just gonna take our time and remove it. This one looks like it's blown too. It smells like a smolten fire because it exploded. So we found a short. It looked like it cooked. See that? It's already coming off. I'm just gonna try to remove it off as much as possible. We look like we have enough room for our tweezers to get in here, so it doesn't look like I have to remove the bracket. I'll just like bring it down a little bit so I can have room for the tweezers. But we got to make room for this area, so we're just going to take this one off, and we're going to place both caps. And then we're going to see if the short is gone once I remove both of them. Okay, it's coming off. There we go. There's one. All right, let's move to the next one. There we go. Yep. That's stuck. There we go. All right, so the pads aren't destroyed. That's good. So we got something to work with. Cool. So I'm gonna clean that up real quick. Get in there with the soldering wick real quick, clean it up. Excuse me, not soldering wick. I'm just gonna put some solder there so we can have some new solder. Just real quick. Do a quick repair. Clean it up. Repeat. Angle my hand. Angle this a little bit here. Here we go. That's all we need. All right. Let's go ahead and see if the short is removed. So we're going to go and test to see if the short is removed real quick and see if that short is gone. Put our voltage injector to the side. Nope. Thank you again to my trusty handy dandy tech over here. What just happened over here? There we go. All right, let's go ahead and see. See the short is gone. Looks like it's gone. It just dropped. Short is gone, so that's a good thing. So now we know those two caps were the bad. That was a culprit of why it wasn't turning on. So let's go get a donor board. Before we get a donor board, let's find out what is the caps that were removed. So we're gonna come look at these area on the board. We're gonna go and switch to the board view. We're gonna go and see what that cap was. So these two caps right here, PPVIN P1V8 VDDH. That was weird that was getting hot from PV bus injecting voltage and it sent the voltage to this area right here. So this is the culprit of why this was getting hot. This was getting hot from that area. So let's go ahead and find out what these capacitors ratings are, just to double check, make sure our donor board matches. We're going to use an M1 Pro board, but we want to make sure that the capacitors match the M1 Pro board. So it's a 33 UF 10 ohm capacitor and 20% and 16 volts. So we have C9210. Let's make sure C9240 is the same. Show you what I'm looking over here. Yep, 16 volts, 20%. They're exactly the same. So we're gonna go ahead and replace those two caps, which we just removed them. So we're gonna go ahead and replace them. So let's go ahead and get a donor board. We're going to go ahead and pull the capacitors off a 16-inch M1 Pro board. So I'm going to set this board to the side right here real quick. You can go ahead and look on this donor board for the two capacitors that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the M1 Pro 16-inch schematic. Should have it here somewhere. Definitely have it, but I don't remember where it is. 16-inch A2141. You know what? Let's do the 16-inch A2141. Let's see if they have that exact capacitor on there. 33 UF. Okay. We do have the same capacitors on that 2019 board. So we're going to go get that instead. And we're going to get those capacitors off of there. We have a 2019 board that we can use instead of a newer board. We're going to go and take the capacitors off this 2019 since it uses the same exact capacitors. So let's go ahead and find out where they're located. So we're going to go ahead and look underneath this area. We're going to search for CA905 and CA904. So CA905 is on the other side of this board here. And I see the first capacitor. Okay, so we're good. We see the capacitor we're moving off the donor board. So we're going to go ahead and grab this one. This is the donor board, so I could care less what happens to it. We just take the chips off, transfer them over. Capacitors, resistors, transistors, diodes, fuses, and even IC chips, power IC chips. We take them off of the boards. If they use the identical chip, we're going to use that chip because it's rated exactly the way it's supposed to be. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go and take this chip off. Also, the importance of having a donor board in your shop is very important because most boards that you have from 2017 and up most likely are using the same capacitors up to 2025. I don't guarantee that, but it's better to have donor boards always so you don't have to buy these things. It does cost money and cost time. If you want to buy the capacitors and resistors, you can go to mouser.com. And it's going to cost you more for shipping than the actual part in most cases. So keep that in mind. Here we go. Got one right there. Okay, now we need to see where CA904 is. Command find CA904. And it is present at the bottom. There's 3, and there it is right there. The 2 guys next to him, 2 capacitors right here. So here's CA904. So we'll take that one off as well. And then before we put voltage into this, we're going to see the short is gone when we put these on. Make sure the short is still gone. And then after that, we'll put voltage into it and see if it turns on. It gets any kind of nice reading. And we'll go from there. Here we go. All right, got two toner chips. All right, we're gonna move this out of the way. All right, get back to business. We're gonna go ahead and bring this back. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy soldered on. We're gonna start off with the far end first. So we're gonna go ahead and bring up the board view again. Rotate it. There we go. Ground is the top, so positive side facing down. All right. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna do this, hold it in at an angle, put it in. We added flux there, and we have solder already there, so it's just gonna grab. We're gonna let it sit for a second there, and then we're gonna let it do the rest. All right, that should be good. All right, now we're gonna hold it in. Let it do its own work. Let it grab itself. There you go. See, it's moving. And it's in. Okay, so there's that one. I went and replaced the second one next to it because it looked like it was burnt, and I don't want to, I don't want to like put a burnt cap there. Okay, there's that. Oop. Go ahead and put it down. It'll grab itself. There we go. And it's in. There we go. Problem solved. Let's go ahead and some alcohol there a little bit. Clean this area up. We didn't use a lot of flux on the board, so it's not going to really need a big board cleaning. We're just going to clean the area up, and then we're going to cover it back up. So we're just going to clean this area up. And voila. I wonder why this actually exploded. I'm just curious. I mean, is it touching the side of the metal? No, it's not. So that wouldn't be the case. So it just magically died. Capacitor just gave up on life. Said, you know what? It was basically saying the Cartman thing. Screw you guys, I'm going home. And it shut the computer off for him. So whatever. I guess that's technology for you. I mean, statistically, this is not supposed to happen all the time, but when it does, you get in there and you fix it. And that's why we're recognized as the local board repair shop. And hopefully I'll have more people like me working here, and yeah, go from there. There it is. All right, now I'm gonna go and test for short again. See if the short is gone. Let's see if the short is gone still before I put the 12-volt fuse back on. Okay, gone. Reassurance. So you can see what I'm looking at. Reassurance. Nothing. Got it. All right, so let's go ahead and solder that 12-volt fuse back on. Okay, put this 12-volt fuse back on. Get a little bit of flux there. We're gonna add some new solder because I don't like the solder that they're using here. So we're just gonna add our own so I can make it easier to put the fuse back on. There we go. That works. All right, put the fuse back on. I'm just gonna align it exactly the way it looks. Doesn't really matter, it's a fuse, so you can put it either way, but just for cosmetic reasons, they should be facing the same way. That's just me. And it'll grab here shortly. Well, so I thought it was gonna grab. It chose not to. There's that. Okay, let's add a little bit of flux to that so we can grab more. There, like that. I don't like to add too much flux. It's not necessary. There we go. All right. A little bit of alcohol. Clean this area up. Go. Okay. Test for short one more time. I know I'm crazy. It's always, what does it say? Measure twice, cut once. So same concept. Measure twice, cut once. Short is still gone. Good. All right. Let's go ahead and remove the grounding wire from the board real quick. Okay, clean it up, and voila, problem solved. Let's go ahead and put this, we're gonna leave this guy off for a second. We're gonna go put some voltage into this and see what the meter reads. Give me a second. Oh, I'm stupid. I already have one out here. Okay. Gotta find a little connector. Might have to take one from his board, potentially. Looks like I'm gonna take one from his computer, use it. We're just gonna grab the meter, just test it ourselves. This real quick. All right, before I put it in his computer, let's verify that this works. Turns on. Good job, Ian. You got that screen off. All right. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what the meter tells us. I don't expect it to be 20 volts, but I do want to see at least 5 volts and some amperes going up. So we're going to go ahead and plug this up. Let's see what it does. There we go. We're getting 20 volts. It's all 6 volts, so it's going up. 18 volts. 20 volts. There we go. We got 19.78. So that's basically 20 volts. We're good. We got the power. We got board. We got PP bus present. So now that's telling us that the computer is turning on. So let's go ahead and put it in the body real quick. And then if it turns on fully, we'll complete the repair, clean it up a little bit, and then call the customer, let them know that their device is ready for pickup and they can pay their invoice. So we're not done yet. We're going to verify. I'm just cleaning up some areas because it's not a lot of flux was used on the board. It was just a small area. So we're just going to clean it up with alcohol. It'll dry up. Again. There we go. Much better. And we got this area. Okay. That's good. Kind of dry it up a little bit. Alcohol is not going to hurt the board. If it's 100% 99.9% isopropyl electronics cleaner alcohol, you can spill this. You can spill a whole 100% of this on the board while it's active, and it's not going to kill the board. So just know that it's safe to use on the board, and it's also used for cleaning. And it dries up liquid like any type of water and elements. It cleans it up. So problem solved. There we go. All right. We'll go ahead and put this back here since we now know that that was the culprit. So we're going to go ahead and close that up right there. And we're going to put it back in the chassis. So we're going to put this back together and turn this off. Now that we got that repaired, we'll move on to the next one after this one and move forward. All right. Go ahead and put this here. Plug it back in where it belongs. You're just like me in on the floor. I do the same thing. Cassie, she'll tell you that I do the exact. I'm a floor person. Do you do this? You always sit on the floor doing stuff too? Huh? You like to sit on the floor doing stuff? Yeah, same. Plus, It's not that I want to be on the floor. It's just I can't. It's a bad habit. It's not a bad habit. It's just like it's sturdier. It's safer.
Subconsciously, I feel like if I were to hypothetically drop something, this distance is fine.
Compared to like, yeah, yeah, like oh, that's not good. That would be bad. Right? Yeah, it would shatter our soul. Like I broke his screen. No. By the way, this has never happened to our store. Knock on wood. But if it does, well, the customer would be notified and we would remedy the issue and give them a new screen. In most cases, it is just we don't have that. We have precautions how we take things, so we don't, techs in training, they're not going to handle a screen because they know how to handle it. So we're not going to have those issues. I'm trying to get this to hook up right there, so it's out of the way. Okay, there's that. So now, one thing about the boards I hate about this is a design issue. Is putting these boards in with all the tags and all the things are in the way, and I'm just like, ugh, it's in the way. It's not gonna show you the way. Okay, well, it's not letting me do what I need to do best. Also, our service weenie is here, the service dog. So he hangs out with us every day. Mr. Williams. That's what my brother calls him. Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams. Likes to call him Mr. Williams.
Where do you get Williams from?
I don't know where he gets it from, but he must have watched something that was old back then. Yeah, he sure did. Oh, man. You see what I'm talking about, guys? This stuff is a little pain. You just got to pull things up a little bit. There's that. There we go. All right, we're in. Cool. There we go. There's that. Board's in. Nothing's missing. Everything's there. Everything's there. Cool. Let's go ahead and plug this up. Test it for sure. We see Apple logo. Problem solved. These are the type of repairs I like because they're easy to fix. You kind of know what's going on. You kind of know how to find them.
I think all repairs are fun in their own way.
Yeah, they're fun in a way, but the problem is that until you get like the newest issue, like I've never seen this issue before. Well, great. I have to figure it out. And I've solved a new issue on the new boards, and it's just like, oh, what is this doing? By the way, guys, if you hear thunder in the background, that is, we are in a thunderstorm, kind of something, tornado warning or whatever. We're not leaving, so we're in the safest place. We're in a brick building, so we're actually pretty safe. If there's a tornado, we're in the safest place right now is this building because it's a brick building. Yes. Yes.
But at least the outside is brick.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what's it say already?
If it was all wood,
It's kind of fucked on the inside. It's metal.
I thought we'd get through the brick, so we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I would say, this is fun, a tornado. I'm like, get it on recording. What time is it right now?
Honestly, if it was in Florida, they'd have a party.
Oh, yeah. The Waffle House is open.
I like to connect everything just in case.
Business as usual.
Waffle House closes,
You're in trouble.
we're in deep doo.
Oh, no, that's also Marietta Diner. They're the same way. If they close, you're in deep doo-doo.
Really?
Yep. They never close. They've never closed unless it was emergency.
I remember, I don't know who told me, whether it's you or someone else, but they told me like the Waffle House,
Like
the National Coast Guard goes by Waffle House, like metrics. Like if Waffle House closes, shit's about to get real.
It's like that at the casino too. The casino doesn't close for anything. Anything.
Well, I mean, they got this.
Okay, we need to get the Torx 5. We're going to put
My
this...
supervisors were in denial when COVID happened.
It's
They
just
were
a
like,
phase.
it was like business as
There we
usual
go.
up until
Let's go ahead and click this in. I'm not putting any screws in. I'm just going to see it with... Well, I'll probably put one in. It's not gonna hurt it. Just do one screw. Okay, I'm doing 4 of them, just cause I can. All right, now we got that plugged in. Make sure everything's plugged in for a second here before we commit. Let's go ahead and see if the computer turns on. And go ahead and grab our multimeter, our USB-C meter, and see what it does.
I mean, you're not wrong. What it is.
Again, 18, 20 volts, 0.36. Okay, there's 1 amp, 2.8 amps. But the computer is still not posting. That's weird. There it is. And we got visual. All right, the battery was dead. We got visual. Let's make sure trackpad clicks. Trackpad battery was low. That's why I didn't turn on. And we have fixed his computer successfully. There was a little background there. It turned on. Good to go. Basically, see my face here. Easy repair. There was 2 capacitors. One that was blown. The other one in question was kind of burnt. So I went and removed both of them and replaced them with 2 of the identical capacitors that came from a 2019 A2141 16-inch MacBook Pro logic board. So it was a donor board that we had. A lot of chips were removed off of it already. And those are very common capacitors on these boards. So took it off another board, 16-inch, and then it worked. And it turns on. It's happy. And there was no liquid damage present. So it was just shoddy capacitor just died, magically exploded. Good news that they didn't eat at the pads, so the pads were not destroyed, so we were able to do that. So easy repair. We're gonna go ahead and close this up and call the customer and let him know that the computer is being put back together and he can pick up by the end of the day. Thanks for watching, guys.